Okay, I'm live and I'm adjusting my camera. Sorry. Okay, yesterday I struggled with, doing all the things. I'm adjusting my mic too. And we're just a mess today because I'm going live and I need to talk about things. So I struggled with doing all the things yesterday for my son's graduation. And because I wanted it to be great and I wanted it to be everything that I thought it should be for him. And while he is not a fussy kid and he is very grateful for things that we do for him, I just know that I wanted it to be good for him. And so, did I invite the right people? Did I gather at the right place after the graduation? Did I get a meaningful gift for him? Which we're still waiting on one part of the gift to come in today. Like, go figure, the day after graduation, right? But what I learned from this is that being present is really the greatest gift of all that we can give to our kids while we're struggling and we're making sure that we're doing all the things in this Maycember moment, right? In this journey through Maycember. Are we doing the things that we need to do to be present with the kids? And so that's really been my focus, is to be present. And there's been some things that have been trying to come in, right? This to distract and this to distract, but overall, am I being present? And that's one of the greatest gifts, again, that you can give. And where you might not have it all together, someone else is picking up the slack, thankfully. I have an amazing mom, an amazing mother-in-law that and my best friend got there ahead of us because graduation took longer than, to get out of graduation and over to where we were gathering afterwards. It took longer than expected. And so my girlfriend's there, and how many people? And she's pushing tables together and they're waiting on us by the time we got there, which was amazing. And because it was on a Thursday, it wasn't super busy at the place that we gathered afterwards, but it really was a great time. It ended up being wonderful. My mother-in-law brought balloons and she did great things that I didn't think of. I honestly thought about it, but I'm like, but when would I do that today? So maybe I could have gotten some balloons, but you know what happens? He gives them to his little brother. Like he got the balloons, but he gives them to his little brother. So does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Probably not. So just want to know, you maybe again, you're not in this place where you have a graduate, but you're in this struggle at the end of the year, for school year for kids and, all these things. And, I just want to know what's been your experience with something similar to this. Maybe you're just in May and you're trying to figure things out. You're like, I don't know. It's the second quarter of the year. I don't know what I'm doing with myself. I get that too. What's been your experience with that? Has something been revealed to you that's helped you in this process? Let me know in the comments while you're listening to this or you're watching the replay. Like, just let me know. There's another struggle that I dealt with yesterday and into today, is just being disappointed by people that you really thought were going to be present. And whenever we have disappointment, you really have to know where to put that disappointment. Because people are going to disappoint us. That's just what they do. But really, it's about the expectations we put on people, and are they going to meet and live up to what we've put on them? And maybe they're not. And maybe they're not going to change. And maybe that's just the way they are. And so then we have to take what we're experiencing, the feelings, like, please process through the feelings. Make sure that you're not holding on to bitterness, resentment, things like that, though. You can be sad, you can be upset, you can be angry. You can, vent about it, but don't hold on to those things, because truly what I realize and what I know is that I'm going to take that disappointment and I'm going to turn it into the hope that I know that I have in the only one that can never disappoint, and that's Jesus. He's never going to disappoint. The Lord's never going to disappoint. It says in Hebrews 13:8 that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's never going to change, never going to fail, always faithful, always going to be there. And so I would tell you to take that disappointment to the cross, because the cross is the same. It's going to level the ground and you're going to be humbled, really truly, because when we're disappointed, is it really about us, or do we need to turn our focus on God and what God says, and really what he's trying to teach us in these moments? Am I truly leaning on him and relying on him in these moments? And I I had prayed about it on the way to the gym this morning. And I said, Lord, I just don't understand. And so I just, cried and I prayed about it. And then I went into the gym and worked out, which is always helpful. And then I came back into the car and I happened to get a notification. And normally I don't really pay attention. I was sitting in the car, but this was from someone that I know that when she posts something that it's meaningful. And so I go in and it was exactly what I needed to read this morning about having a God that is ferociously faithful. And I thought, gosh, I've never even thought to put those two words together about God. But he's a radical God. He's ferocious. He is one that just goes all in for you because you're his kid. And so to know that God is so faithful in that way towards me, the one that he delights in and loves and calls his own, that will just change your perspective, when you're having a moment where you're like, I don't get this at all. I'm so disappointed. I'm so angry. It doesn't make sense. And then Jesus will turn that right around. Okay. And so, again, open my phone, really needed that ferociously. Okay. Yeah. That's all I'm leaning into today. I made a few notes because my brain, for the ladies out there that are struggling with hormonal things, just hear me for a minute. You are not alone in that. I told my girlfriend last week before she went on her cruise this past week. She just got off her cruise, I think, this morning. But I told her before she left, I said, I'm really strongly leaning towards having a community of mamas and women that are just going through all the things. We just talk about everything, parenting. I have friends that are divorced, separated, single, parenting kids, not kids, that they don't have kids, they want kids, never had kids. I mean, just there's so many things: hormones, perimenopause, menopause, all the things. There's so many things that we go through as women. And although we have a great community in the gym that I go to, I would love to just have availability for more women because you feel like you're alone, but you're not. You're totally not alone. So I just want to tell you, even in those moments, to lean into the Lord because he's ever present, always faithful, all knowing, and he will help you through disappointments, anger, sadness, all the things. And so I hope that helped you today. And I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. See you soon.